Smell me, touch me, feel me. I feel like a Who song here. All right. All right, waiting for the screen to come up, waiting to see if you guys can hear me. So we just tick, tick, tick. Come on, YouTube today. There we go. Here comes the screen. Okay, I can see me. Now let's see if you guys can hear me. Nerd on Web says 5 by 5, and that's the only Finley. Okay, here we go. Jacob, Jax to Mix, Lorna, Carrie, Grandma Prepper, Healthy. Okay, cool. Happy Tuesday, guys. All right, we are back after a short hiatus there. Sorry about Saturday night, but I was just completely wiped, and I'm pretty well wiped today, too. It's just been long days lately. And it's many, just from many things, just trying to do all sorts of stuff at the same time. But ran into another one of you today. This was kind of a funny story. Uh, so out running errands with my buddy this morning, and we stopped off at the barbershop. As you can tell, I got a haircut. And talking to the barber, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you got to try this new restaurant that's up the street if you guys are going for a sandwich or something for lunch." So we decided we're going to go up and try to find this place. And it was kind of tucked in behind buildings, so we couldn't find it. And so we pulled through a parking lot, and we knew we were really close because we could see the signs for it, but we couldn't see it. But there was a gentleman in the parking lot there, and so stopped. I rolled down the window. I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "Do you know where City Hall Cafe was, or whatever it was called?" He goes, "Yeah, Mr. P, it's right over there." I'm like, shit. It's like, okay. He goes, "I'm watching videos all the time." I'm like, okay, here we go again. So, and it's funny because it always catches me off guard, and I mean, I never know when it's going to happen, but it's funny that I run into people. So yeah, it's fun, but it's also, if I have this look of shock on my face for a second, if it ever happens to you, that's why, because I'm not planning on that. I'm in different mode. So, but it was kind of fun. So, and then of course it was running all around town doing other stuff today, and more house hunting, which is a royal pain in the ass. I will tell you this. There is nothing out there, guys. I don't know if anybody's been looking at real estate. Good freaking luck finding anything that's decent. I mean, we're looking around here, and 40-year-old mobile homes are selling for $350,000. You got to be kidding me. Houses are falling apart, and they want $250,000 for them. It's just, you get back to the you'll own nothing, right? It's because you can't afford anything. If it's anything decent, you can't afford it. So it goes back to one of those things. Hope you got everything you need now, because it's just getting more and more and more and more and more expensive to get anything. So yeah, that was it. So hey, in the fun world today, I guess they finally opened the impeachment inquiry on Potato Joe, who of course put his foot in his mouth today, calling the president or prime minister or whatever he is of Vietnam by the wrong name. That was, Joe's daily embarrassment of the United States. Hi, I'm your president, and I don't know my own name, let alone anybody else's. After getting busted saying he was at ground zero on 9/12, and no, he wasn't. And, it's just every day. The guy is just a flippin' embarrassment. So, did you guys catch the mayor of Burbank, California? He doesn't want to defund the police. He wants to abolish the police. His idea of a utopia is no jails and no police. And he says Americans really do truly embrace Marxism, and that's where we need to go. Yeah. Okay. You think California's screwed under Gavin Newsom? Yeah. How about living in Burbank? This guy. Yeah. So that would be the craziness that's going on in the world. I know a few of you guys have emailed me and saying, why only one video lately? And so there's nothing to really talk about that. I mean, what do you do? Get on a video. Aaron Rodgers hurt his ankle last night. Okay. You know, if I don't have anything worth your time to do, and therefore it's not worth my time to make the video, I'm not going to waste your time. Okay, I'm not here to just give you a bullshit video for nothing. But I try to keep you posted as to ideas of what's going on, things you can do, how to be aware. But I'm not trying to just fill your day. So there's enough other channels out there that seem to do that too. All right, let's get into Q&A because I figure I got 2 days worth of this stuff to catch up on. So as per normal, if you got questions for me, guys, please put it in all caps. Like I said all the time, I totally encourage you guys to have conversations amongst yourselves. Just keep those in lowercase. The only other thing is, guys, treat each other civilly in here. I mean, I really shouldn't have to say it anymore, but the mods still tell me about every once in a while we get a moron in here who decides he wants to cause trouble. So just, engage brain before putting mouth in gear. That's all I'm going to ask. All right, let's get into Q&A. Let me get up to the top here. Well, there's all the 5x5, so we'll go after that. Okay, let's see what you guys have on your minds. Somebody said harvest time. Yes. And great minds think alike. I have that t-shirt. There you go. Yeah, this one, what does it say? Let's see if you can read it here. Don't confuse my personality with my attitude. My personality is who I am. My attitude depends on who you are. So, yeah, that's pretty true. Okay. Kay Webbles, do I think we will see an economic collapse in the next few years? That I can pretty much guarantee. I'm counting the days, the weeks, and the months until we see it. Okay, it's going to be real interesting. Most companies' fiscal years end at the end of this month. It's going to be real interesting to see what starts happening the 1st of October. I mean, the federal government, can't continue going on spending $2 trillion or $3 trillion or $4 trillion a year. I mean, eventually, there was a good comment today. It says the government keeps kicking the can down the road. Eventually you get to the end of the road. And we're in the cul-de-sac right now, guys, okay? We're at the end of this. We can't afford to pay the bills. We can't afford $350,000 houses. We can't afford $20 steaks or $6 ground beef or $2.50 chicken thighs. And if you noticed, another figure came out today. Like I said, they finally got all the numbers in for 2022, and they had to revise the wages, average wage in the United States. Guess what? In 2022, the American public took a pay cut from 2021. Prices went up and your pay went down. But Bidenomics is working. Yeah. We have less and less and less and less and less money. And this is what they're counting on. You will own nothing and be happy. I don't know what you're going to be happy about, but you will own nothing. They're going to get that part down. Jamie, I'm guessing that's Pro 1, not prune, but maybe it is. Water filter is a waste of money. Mine worked for 45 days. Okay, I've never even heard of the brand. So, okay, so if anybody's got a Pro 1 or a prune, whichever one it is, water filter, Jamie is saying it's junk. Let's see. Steve Snodgrass, canned your potatoes today, 15 quarts so far. They're awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's freaking easy. And when you take them out, just like I said, throw in soups or make home fries or something like that. They're great. Vester Dillon, hello, Pinball. This is P. I hope y'all are having a blessed day. We're just having a busy day after day after day after day. So, and I got more that I got to do tomorrow. Linda Englund, Metro area, Minnesota, gas jumped 40 cents last Thursday. When we were out of town today, it was $3.19 for regular unleaded and $3.99 for diesel. So we've seen a little bit of a jump lately, but not a 40-cent jump. So I think we were paying $2.89 the beginning of July, so we're up, 30 cents here since the beginning of July. And I know a lot of you guys are going to go, I wish I had $3.19 gas. Yeah. Still, when we were filling up the truck yesterday, it was like, well, we got to the point where the gas pump stops at $100 worth of gas. So, Mountaineer Mama, 40-year-old mobile home for rent, $925 a month. Yeah, that sounds about right. Probably a single wide, too. Unbelievable, you know. And I mean, I talked about this the other day, you know, we're going to start to see a lot of homeless people because it's got to the point, what was I saying? You know, food, or I'm sorry, employment, shelter, and transportation. Okay, 3 necessities that you need. You need one to get the other. Yada yada yada. If people don't have a place to live, when you got more and more people that start living out of their car, we're this close, guys. We are this close to somebody snapping out there and setting off all sorts of crazy stuff. Okay, just be ready for that. A Cushnet prepper who my house hunting for, my buddy here. So trying to help him find a place. Angeline Wilson, pinball. Did I hear about the ADM food, Archer Daniels Midland, I'm assuming, food plant here in Illinois had an explosion Sunday. Yeah, I saw it was at, I think either Travis or Rudy talked about it a little bit there. Yeah, it's amazing. We're starting to see some of that again. I mean, all of the necessities, you know, a lot of people, you know, electric out and food plants blowing up and recalls of food, and you can't afford housing, you know. And yet, for some reason, they still say Joe's got 46% of the vote in polls right now because half the country thinks he's doing a good job. Please, we need a lot more psychiatrists in this world, you know. Suburban hillbilly, 1-bedroom apartment for my son in a decent neighborhood, $2,000 a month, 1 bedroom, 690 square feet, and utilities not included. God, $24,000 a year for 690 square feet. I mean, that's almost $300 a square foot. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking that. No, what is that? Almost $3 a square foot to rent per month. Unbelievable. Whoops, shot to the bottom there. Let's get back up here. Okay. Hang on, I gotta find where I was. Mary L. Pinball, have I heard anything about October 4th activating something in people who got the jab? No. Okay. Guys, I'm going to ask you, and I ask this of you guys every once in a while, please, 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 when you see some of these YouTubers, okay, or Twitterati or Facebook or whatever, come up with something that sounds a little too hard to believe, go fact check it real quick. Okay, somebody sent me a link to a YouTuber's video the other day where he was going, hemorrhagic fever and Ebola were released at Burning Man, and that's how they're going to do it. And yeah, that was an internet story, you know, some bullshit. It was debunked so fast by national news, local news, the local health department, I mean, up in Reno, all over the place. It was debunked. It took me 10 seconds to put, you know, Ebola at Burning Man. And I mean, I got pages of results saying false, false, false. You know, just because somebody says it doesn't make it true. That's what Joe wants you to believe. Joe wants you to believe everything he says is true. Okay. And everybody barks at him about it. If I say something and I'm wrong, call me out on it. If somebody else says something and they're wrong, call them out on it, okay? We all make mistakes, but some of it I find is sheer laziness because you hear something like that. And I mean, I hear those stories too, and I go look it up, and I'm like, this is crap, you know? And so, no, I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of these sensationalist meme type, I mean, it's like the Onion or the Babylon Bee, and people think, oh my God, that's real news. No, it's not. Okay, they're parody sites, and then other people come up, they start parroting the same crap. You know, credibility is something that I take very seriously. Okay, I try my damnedest not to make any mistakes. I, I get 99% of it right. I get some stuff wrong, no question. But I'm not out there trying to scare everybody with stories that are blatantly untrue. You know, just do a little bit of research and verify a source. So no, I mean, I would go. I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, October 4th, we know we have the National Emergency Alert System test, but who's coming up with activating something? I mean, what did they watch the movie The Kingsman yesterday or something and go, hey, you know what? Maybe it's just like out of that movie, and everybody will go crazy. I mean, good movie. It's fiction. Maureen Majala. I'm going to take a spot. Take a. Looks like Polish. Son in Chicago. Son buying his first house in Chicago suburbs on a VA loan. Of course, I'm worried. God, I don't even want to know what stuff costs around the suburbs of Chicago. I mean, even when I lived out there, and I lived out in Plainfield, out in was Will County, right? Yeah, it was Will County. When I was there, it was cornfields. Now it's like metropolis. So, I mean, granted, I lived there 25 years ago, but somebody said haven't watched football for several years now. Nor have I. Don't care. That's it. I just when I'm looking at the news, I see the headlines, and Aaron Rodgers getting hurt was all over the place. Then, of course, the other story that was all over the place on football today was Colin Kaepernick has contacted the Jets and said he'd be interested in coming back. I don't give a shit what happens with the NFL, but you want to pull a Bud Light moment? Hire current, sign Colin Kaepernick. Prayerful EA. Wonder what makes him think there's no jail or police in Marxist counties. Oh no, he doesn't think there's. I mean, he just thinks we should all be Marxists, but we don't need the jail or police because when we're all controlled like you are under Marxism, there's never any crime. The Soviet Union had no crime, right? China has no crime, right? Sure, I mean, Marxism is a breeding ground for criminal activity. So, Disney Up Boiler Up. How do you prepare new blueberry bushes for winter in Indiana? I planted them this year. They're about 2 feet tall. They're also in containers. They should be fine outside. No big deal. Yeah, I mean, I just leave them be. I mean, if you planted them in the spring, they've got a chance to get their roots established and everything. And I wouldn't do anything. I just let them overwinter. That's fine. Silvergram, thank you for the super chat. Do I know if the upcoming COVID vax will also fall under the Emergency Authorization Act? I do not know. And even if I had any information, that's one of those topics that I cannot talk about on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, you guys are going to have that. The arm ticket stuff, when that all gets fast and furious here, you're going to have to do that research on your own because we've all been told explicitly, do not talk about it. Okay, otherwise they will put strikes on channels or shut them down completely. Patty Foot. My 11-acre farm is going up for sale the end of next week in Morristown because my husband passed away. Sorry to hear about his passing. My only question is, where are you going? Okay. I mean, I'm guessing the reason that you're selling the farm is because you can't manage it yourself. But please make sure you have somewhere to go before you sell the farm, because it may sound really good. Oh my God, I can get all this money for this farm. But then you go, but I need somewhere to live. And it's, oh my God, it costs even more money to find somewhere to live. So, yeah, make sure you got somewhere to go before you sign that note. JMAC processing plant explosion in Sunday in Decatur. At least 8 dead. Media silent, of course. You know, that's it. So, KS1 Big Dad. Pinball, your take on New Mexico governor's illegal outlawing open carry there. Go watch my video from a couple of days ago. I talked about it for nearly 20 minutes. Josal Dasimo. EPA stopping Berkey from selling black filters. What's next? Yeah, so I caught wind of that one because the filters apparently have silver in them that the EPA is trying to say that it's a pesticide. Are you kidding me? Okay, no, but it's just another one of those things. It's like, well, if we shut off the water, we can control the people. Hey, you can't afford a house? Move into one of our beautiful little sardine cans right here. Oh, you don't have any water? Hey, you know what? Charlie Tuna's looking for a roommate. David Glover, what about the safe company that gave the code to the FBI? Okay, I'm going to come out and I'm going to give you, as Paul Harvey put it, the rest of the story. Okay. Yeah. Was it wrong that the FBI wanted to get his safe out, wanted to open his safe and he refused? No, that was right. He should refuse. However, once the FBI went and got a warrant signed by a judge and presented it to him and he refused to open it, the homeowner, had voluntarily given his code and whatever backups to get into the safe to the safe company. Now, you don't have to register for one of these. In case you forget your code, we can program in here a backup. You don't have to do that, but this guy did that on purpose, or did that voluntarily. When the FBI called up the safe company and said, we have a warrant, faxed them a copy of the warrant, and they have the information, yes, by law, the safe company did exactly what they should have done. Okay, there was a court order to do it. If the guy didn't want that access, he shouldn't have given the safe company the ability to have a backup code in the safe and not registered for them to be able to do it. The company has to follow the law. If there's a court order, the company can't say no. Okay, then they're in trouble. The company, it wasn't just the FBI that said, we want you to do this. They had a warrant. Okay, they had a court order to do this. So, and I'm not going to disagree. Okay, because that's the law as it stands. And all the times that we, as conservatives, say, follow the Constitution, follow the Constitution. Why are you upending the Constitution? We can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, they shouldn't have done it. Why? They're following the Constitution. They're following the law of the land that says if there's a warrant, you have to comply. Just saying. Prep Rebel, thank you for the super chat. Just because, for the Christmas fund for my garden, just because. Well, the garden's pretty much on the wind down here. We're still getting tomatoes and peppers. My zucchini are now done. So yeah, we're at the wind down. I'll be within a couple of weeks now starting to rip my gardens out. So go toward Christmas on that one. Let's see. And I know there's going to be a bunch of you guys about the safe story. They're going to disagree with me, and that's cool. I'm just telling you. Ooh, almost dumped an iced tea. Fastball 2611. Hi, Pinball. Have you ever canned ham and string beans with potatoes? No, I don't, because that's not a combination that we make around here. I make basically ham and beans when I'm canning ham. So Uh, no potatoes in it, but I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, it's again going to be 90 minutes for quarts. Uh, so yeah, no problem. Uh, Prep Rebel, any more news on the so-called governor of New Mexico? Just that a couple of people in the state legislature have called for their impeachment. Even the liberals are running away from her. The funny thing is David Hogg, that little prick that thinks he knows everything, the 120-pound soaking wet weakling, with the lesbian girlfriend. Uh, Even he said that she's wrong. So that'll tell you. Yeah, she doesn't have too many friends at the moment. Donalda Choate, they launched an impeachment investigation. I talked about that at the top. Heather Bray, how long do potatoes need to sit before long-term storage? Usually about a week. If you keep them in a week in just a dry area and let those skins toughen, then you're good. And then you can put them in a bag, put them in a root cellar or something of the sort, and you'll be good. No, they should last you January, February, thereabouts, so. Lake Lizard, how long until Kamala is officially president? Please don't even make me come up with anything for that. I mean, she can go be president of Djibouti. I don't care, but God help us if she's ever president of the United States. I mean, if there's any, I mean, I've said this many times before. Okay, when you're the nominee, you need to pick a vice president who's stupider than you are, and that was really hard for Joe Biden, but he managed. You know, we really don't need a cackling hen in the White House. I mean, Joe doesn't know what the name of the Vietnamese premier is or president is. Kamala can't find Vietnam on a map. Okay, where am I going? Is this Hawaii? Are we in the Philippines? No. Purposeful prepper. You don't see me that often anymore, but I'm still here. Keep doing what you do, brother. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Tiffany G. Can Mrs. P share any more recipes? I'm trying to think if there's. I mean, the only one that we still haven't made it is a kroshka, uh, and we've never given you one on making pelmeni, but there aren't that many that we haven't. I mean, that are of any interest. I mean, okay, what did we have today? Ham with sour cream and spaghetti noodles. It's not anything fancy. Uh, it's good, but I mean, it's not. Oh my God, you guys have heard of borscht or stroganoff or stuff like that. Uh, Maybe you've heard of pelmeni. I know you haven't heard of a kroshka, but those are more traditional Russian recipes. The stuff she's making a lot of times is okay. It's just what she's got. It's a decent recipe she knows how to make, so nothing fancy. So if something comes up, we will. I know there's just not that much crazy stuff that she cooks. Tony Lawrence, what did I think about the fighter jet fuel tanks jettisoned on public? And I didn't even hear about it, so I don't know anything about that one. Yeah, okay. Why would they be jettisoning fuel tanks from a fighter jet over the? I'd have to find a story on that one. I'm not sure. On Mousetrap, we can't afford the millions of illegal people. No kidding. That's another thing that's making everything expensive. There's more demand for less product. Linda Friesen, a good way to get land is to look for tree farm cutovers. Yeah, that's a good idea. Harbor Prepper, I think we're more in a dead end than a cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac has a way out. Yeah, cul-de-sac you can turn around, but cul-de-sac is a dead end. George Smith, is my garden as much of a jungle as ours? Yeah. In certain spots, yes, the weeds just nonstop. But that's fine. I let the weeds go when I've finished up in certain spots of the garden, because all it is more roots going down and breaking up soil and breaking up clay, and it's turning into more biomass that all I'm going to do is chop up and turn right back into the soil. So yes, I know somebody's going to say, well, gee, you're taking all the nutrients out and you're just putting them back. And I'm also putting back mass, which is different. So, original Osak, one shot, one kill. What do you think of Elon Musk shutting down the Starlink to stop the drone attack on Crimea? I think that he did the right thing. Okay. Elizabeth Warren, of course, was pitching a bitch, but my answer to Elizabeth Warren is real simple. Well, I'll tell you what, Lizzie, why don't we use your satellite system and your billions of dollars and do it? Why do we have to use private entity, assets? What, don't you have some, doesn't the government, with all the trillions of dollars in debt we are, don't we have something it could use? Why do you have to use civilian assets? It's his. He can do whatever he wants. Okay? If you commandeer them, if you have legal grounds to do that, then you can do whatever you want. But no, Elon Musk does not have to agree with all you warmongers out there that want to kill a bunch of people. I'd rather see Ukraine fall. Okay? Sorry, but there was a story this morning. 76% of the Ukrainian people blame Zelensky for the corruption in Ukraine. How about that one? Okay. I don't care. Let the Ukrainian government fall. Let Russia take it over. Good. Ukraine is a cesspool. It's one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Let it fall. I don't care. Not my problem. Sandy Shepard just watched Economic Ninja. Says Chase Bank is in trouble. Guess I need to get my money out. I will say the same thing I just said a few minutes ago. Check the source. Make sure that track record. I'm just going to leave it there. Truth. Yeah, little lacking over there. Let's see. Queenie B, Mr. P, gas here in Central Texas has gone up $1.20 a gallon in 1 week and 1 day. $4.59 a gallon in Texas? Yikes. Okay. Never too old to learn. How do you control squirrels and rabbits? I live in a town with neighbors close by. Okay, so that rolls out to 22. Dog, that works well for me. Yeah. You're just going to have to get rid of them. And if that means dog out there, if that means shooting them, if that means trapping them, whatever it would be, somehow getting rid of them, that's what you're going to have to do. And I mean, eventually you'll get rid of them. Buzzard Prepper, ready for some fall-like weather in Tennessee. Yeah, it was supposed to be 77 today. It was 84. Okay. I saw an article today. This will tell you how bad it is. You guys know how much I bitch about the weather forecast. There was somebody that had done a study. I don't forget where I read this article. It was Breitbart or Zero Hedge or something. That the most accurate prognosticators are, picking anything, whether it's politics or football games or economics or whatever. The most accurate people for predicting the future are weathermen. Okay. And their effective rate ends at 3 days. Okay. So all these people telling you the economy is going to crash in 2 months, the stock market's going to whatever. And I know I've said that too. Okay. Going to whatever. Or the housing market's going up, or the housing market's going down, or interest rates, or whatever the hell they want to talk about. Weathermen are more accurate, and their peak accuracy goes out to 3 days. So anybody that can tell you what's going to happen Saturday, you're better off flipping a coin. That's the truth when somebody did research on all of this. And we know how accurate weathermen are. I mean, well, there's a 50-50 chance of rain today. Thanks. That helps. Uh, Kathy WC, did I hear that the head of the WHO, Tedros, admitted he isn't vaccinated? Of course. Yeah. You know, they know exactly what it is. That they knew it. I mean, Fauci's admitted, oh, you know what? The face diaper doesn't work. And then in the next sentence, but I advise everybody to wear one. Why? Because you want us all to look as stupid as you? I don't know. But, it's just, it, you must own stock in the mask companies or something. It's, again, this whole thing, guys, everybody's got to understand this, was just to see how, like lemmings to a cliff, the public of the world was. Because remember, it was, we only need to get to 60%. Then we only need to get to 70%. We need to get to 80%. We need to get to 90%. And they stopped about 65. And that pissed them off because it's like, crap, only 2/3 of the world's population, is so stupid they'll do whatever we told them to. We needed it to be a lot higher. So now what do we do? Empress Jennifer SWC, I love my Alexa Pure water filter. Highly recommended. Yes, Alexa Pure is a good water filter. Fox Any, regarding rent, a 4-bedroom house in my Ohio town, a remodeled 186-year-old house listed for $3,300 a month and then was reduced to $2,900. Barely any yard and on-street parking. I mean, think about that. $3,300. That's like 40 grand a year, guys. For rent. And again, what do I keep saying? The median wage in the country is like $55,000 a year before taxes. Mountaineer Mama, I won the local grocery store's weekly $100 gift card drawing. There you go. Congratulations. It's going to buy chicken a can up. Good idea. Any proteins right now are highly sought after. Good idea to get. Kevin Little, so many videos to look back to find, but what seeds do you need to ferment to save them? Cucumber I know of. What are the others? Tomatoes for certain. Cucumbers. Certain types of squash. It's about all I grow. But anything that doesn't have, how do I want to put it, a dry seed to it. I mean, peppers, you don't need to do it. Beans, you don't need to do it. Peas, you don't need to do it. But anything that's in that little gel, which is a, what's the word I'm looking for? Keeps it from germinating. I can't think of the word. That's what that gel is. So that's why you're trying to get that off of there so the seeds will be viable. Retired Army Ranger, Georgia governor is stopping the gas tax. We're at $3.59 a gallon in Metro Atlanta. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah, good. Maybe some of that'll go on. I know they put a halt on the food tax here in Tennessee until the end of September, the end of October, something like that. So we've had a break for a couple of months now of no sales tax on food. So any little bit helps. So now the Georgia governor could get the rest of Atlanta under control, like his prosecutors, who keep committing crimes while they're trying to prosecute somebody who didn't commit crimes. Figure that one out. Brian Riley, my rent went up $46 a month for the next year. Thank God for Joe and Bidenomics. Sarcasm, yes. Because, hey, you're doing your part. Angel Dupree, have I made a video on Faraday boxes, or could I make one? No, I haven't made one, and no, I'm not going to make one because there are so many different people that talk. I mean, there's a million videos on Faraday boxes on YouTube, and there's not a single one of them out there that anybody knows if it works. Okay, wrapping cardboard with aluminum foil or putting cardboard in metal boxes or garbage cans or whatever it is. You like I've said many times about Faraday boxes and Faraday cages and everything like that. It's better than nothing, okay? Because if you have nothing, then you're pretty much guaranteed to get screwed. We don't know if the Faraday boxes that you buy on Amazon or if the aluminum foil and cardboard work or whatever it was. It's a chance you're going to take, okay? Whether it works or not, I don't know. It's just like the EMP shield or whatever. I mean, I had one put onto my fuse box in my house. Does it work? I don't know. Nobody, as I've said many times, we've never experienced an EMP. Nobody knows exactly what it's going to do. All the testing they do in labs is completely different than real world exercise. So if it's something that you want to do, somebody else will make a video about it. It's not something I'm going to do. A Cushnet prepper. They're already hauling boats in preparation for Hurricane Lee in Massachusetts. Or I'm guessing it's moving them in or something like that. Yeah, I saw the target has moved, and now Boston is in line to at least get some serious storm surge or anything. So, yeah, all you guys up in Mass, get ready later this week or this weekend. I guess you're going to get hit, which of course includes New Hampshire and Maine and whole 9 yards that way. So, yeah. Okay, there we go. Shot to the bottom. That was coming. All right. Nick Lewis, who becomes vice president if Kamala is president? Congress would actually pick somebody, the House, okay? You remember when Nixon left and Jerry Ford became president, and then it was Spiro Agnew, who I think, don't quote me on this, I was like 6, okay? But the House chooses who the new VP is. Empress Jennifer SWC, she doesn't even know she isn't black. She won't be president. Yeah, it's the truth. She's Jamaican and Indian. No, you're not from Africa. I hate to tell you this. Flower Lady 75. Our mobile home park got new owners and have been filling up the park with newer mobile homes, but they are going for $29.99 for a two bedroom plus lot rent. If they're going for $29.99, those I've got to think those are single wides, because everything that I'm seeing around here, Clayton Homes is big around here, and they're like brand new homes like this one starting at $60,000. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? South Colorado Stetter, did I get more fruit from my trees this year? We had probably a dozen or so peaches. All the plums disappeared. I don't know. I'm guessing the birds got them. We have one pear. The apple trees are still too small, but the muscadines have been coming in, so we've been grabbing a couple of handfuls of muscadines a day lately. Not bad for a year-old plant. So that's nice to have that. Mrs. P brought in a bunch of figs this afternoon, so we were munching on some figs for a while. But yeah, with fruit trees and stuff like that, guys, it takes a few years before you start getting any sort of abundance of fruit. And I mean, we've finally got to the point where the peaches are decent. I mean, one peach tree, and getting what we can. But it's not like you're going to plant that little tree you bought at Home Depot this year and next year you're going to get fruit. I mean, my peach tree and my pear tree have been in for 4 years. So, and this is the first year we have a pear. So, DT, will we be at war with Russia by the end of the year? What did I say about prognostication and weathermen? I'm honestly, I'm still more worried about a war with China than I am a war with Russia. Okay. Uh, I don't know. Tucker Carlson says we're going to be in a war. He knows more than I do. He's got a hell of a lot better sources than I do. Uh, we're going to be in a war with somebody next year, though. I will say that just because Joe's going to do whatever he can to start a war. He wants to be a wartime president. He he thinks he's got the ability to make decisions. I mean, you start thinking, ooh, General Milley. There's somebody that I'd follow into battle. I don't know. George Patton, Douglas MacArthur, Norman Schwarzkopf, and Milley. Not in the same class. Uh, Healthy disrespect for authority. If you wanted to plant tiny potatoes, how many would you use to start in three-gallon grow bags? One. That's it. Uh, because you'll get a whole bunch of little potatoes off of it, but the roots will spread. And a three-gallon grow bag is tiny. Little bitty, how's the dog? Copper's next vet appointment is on Monday. Uh, and the infection seems to be gone. The hair seems to be trying to grow back. Hair doesn't grow quickly, but we still haven't figured out what causes this, and he's still getting a rash under his arm, so this still isn't done. So we'll go back to the vet and see what the vet says this coming Monday. A Cushnet prepper. Was it Geraldo who had the TV program to open Al Capone's safe? Yes, it was. Okay, I just went over copper. Let's see. Thanks, Lucky Dave. Yeah, I haven't got the person who asked about copper. Hang tight, they'll get here. I got there. Terry Palazzolo, my Huskies consider squirrels and rabbits a delicacy. I've told you before, Daffy's caught three of them, caught three chipmunks. I mean, Daffy's fast. It's a border collie. You don't know how fast border collies are. Go watch some of these agility trials on borders. Okay, Daffy can fly. She can catch a chipmunk, but she catches them. She doesn't know what to do with them. And last time she caught one, Mrs. P was outside and she had it in her mouth. And Mrs. P said, "Drop it." Daffy dropped chipmunk. The chipmunk ran away. It was hanging in Daff's mouth. So yes, silly dog. Prep roll for Copper's vet bills. Thanks. That'll help. Eve, Georgia Governor Kemp just suspended the tax on gas for 30 days starting tomorrow. Yes, okay. Somebody mentioned that. J-Mac John Coleman was the last of the real weathermen. I don't even know who John Coleman is, so okay. RLRL, boy, I haven't heard from you in a long time. Did you hear that last month they found the largest lithium deposits in Nevada? Interesting. All of a sudden we found lithium in the United States. Purple Chris, do I believe in letting my garden rest for a year after working it for 7 years? Do I believe in that? No. Because again, I'm adding to my soil every year compost or grass clippings. I mean, like right now, my compost pile is still going. It's going to be filled with all the plants that I tear out. That'll all get put on in the spring. But right now, all my grass clippings are getting dumped in the gardens. All the leaves that I'm going to be mowing, shredding, raking, doing whatever, all the trees I got, so I get buku leaves, okay, will all be added to the garden. So those can all decompose over the winter, and then I will put some compost over the top of it, and then I will turn all that into my soil again. So I'm constantly rebuilding my soil. So I don't, if you're not doing anything, if you're just, okay, I'm going to plant out of the same stuff, probably not the best idea. Yeah. But letting it rest doesn't do any good. It's like, okay, tell you what, you don't have to, we're not going to feed you in 2024, but you can stay in bed all year. Is that going to do you any good? No. Okay. So you got to feed the soil. Homegrown 101 today. Gas in Michigan thumb area is around 371. Okay. Nick Lewis, just who do believe most everyone can find false? Okay, I don't understand. Your comment makes no sense. You got to English. That's it. Okay. Tammy Harder, correct. Bad things happen when good men do nothing. Yes. Uh, Old Hippie 60. Weather forecast tonight. It's going to get dark in the morning. It's going to get light out. Unless, of course, you tell that to a liberal, because guaranteed they will argue with you. A truck Campbell. Other than the Chinese and fires, what would truly make you leave my castle? I don't know. Bullet to the head, and they can carry me off in a box. That's about it. I ain't going anywhere. Okay. This is the hill I'll die on. Angela Teschner, is that how you seed save ferment? Again, it depends on the seed. Like I said, tomatoes, cucumbers, some squash. Yeah, you got to ferment those seeds to get that coating off of it, that gel that's in the vegetable off of it. But green peppers or whatever it is, you can just take all the seeds off that little core, put them on a paper plate, let them dry. You're good. Okay. Beans or peas, you can let them dry on the plant, take them out, and then just shut the beans or the peas, and you're good. So different plants, you collect seeds in different ways. Celine 77, would I ferment melon seeds? Depends on the melon. Some yes, some no. Like a watermelon or something like that, you don't need to. But like a cantaloupe, yes, you do. Royal Lioness, do I suggest protein powder as a prep? This is interesting. Somebody brought that up to me the other day, and I never gave it any thought. It actually sounds like a good idea to do, but you want to make sure that somehow it is either vacuum sealed. If it comes vacuum sealed in the can, you're fine. If it's just in one of those plastic jars or something like that, it's not. I put that into a baggie and vacuum seal it. Let's see, where are we? Oops, we just shot to the bottom. I gotta find where I am again. Hang on, guys. Oops. Okay. Kit Carlson, don't waste money on the My Patriot EMP bag. Doesn't stop Wi-Fi or phone. Yeah, and you're bringing up exactly what I said. There's a whole bunch of. I'm not telling anybody anything, you know. There's a whole bunch of companies out there that will sell you false hope. You know, buy our bag. It's great for this. Okay, if it never happens, you never catch them. If an EMP goes off, you go, shit, it didn't work. They're like, what do we care? We got the money 10 years ago, and it's not like they can call us up on the cell phone that doesn't work and ask for their money back. So, yeah, you know, like I said, if you get something like that, don't hold out hope that it's the be all end all. It still might not work. Susan M 1224, recommend any type of potato to grow as a cool weather crop. I'm 9A 8B. I know because I've never lived in that zone and gardened potatoes. So you know, what I'd look for, grow spring potatoes, early potatoes. Those would be the ones I would try. Okay, something that's an early potato, because depending on when it starts getting colder, you want those to be quick potatoes. Let's see. RLRL, Faraday Defense has come out with their own version of EMP Shield. Sure, I mean, basically for that, like on my breaker box, all it is a surge protector. That's it, literally. You know, they put a fancy name on it, but it doesn't do anything other than a surge protector. Ken Harrison, could the House pick a Republican vice president? Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, I mean, they could, I mean, again, and it doesn't have to be somebody in current, I mean, if they wanted to pick Donald Trump Jr., they could, not a big deal. They could pick me if they wanted to, as long as they get a majority of the House to vote on that person, they're good. Uh, Leah, straw or hay to mulch my strawberry plants? Straw. Here's why. Hay, you're going to have hay seeds, and good luck getting rid of all the hay that would start growing out of your in your strawberry plants. Use straw. Okay, no seeds that way. Okay, or make sure there aren't any seeds before you go. But hay, you're going to have seeds all over the place. Michael Bettis, apple trees produced zero this year. I've heard that from apple orchards saying they're only getting a third to a half of normal production. So yeah, you guys can expect the price of apples to be very expensive this fall. Which includes your apple cider and your apple butter and everything else that you like to make. Jamie Dolan says that lithium's in an old volcano near Black Rock where Burning Man is. Gee, lithium and a bunch of people at Burning Man. Wonder how many of them have manic depression. Jerry Fish, have I heard anything more about the gold repository? No, I have not. So I don't know where that stands, at least in Tennessee at this point. On the go, do I spray my trees? The only ones that I sprayed this year, I sprayed my cherry tree with a product called Viper because I had to get rid of those Japanese beetles. But that's it. But normally, no, I do not. 16V71, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Let's see. Jackie Whitaker, have I had issues with seeds this year? Weird results on the same vine from green beans. This has been going on for a couple of years. I mean, go back and watch Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. They had ordered Cherokee wax beans, and they got all sorts of different stuff from beans. I haven't had any problems with beans because I use my own seed, so I haven't had. I mean, I grew Kentucky Wonders 4 years ago or something like that when I started here, and I've been growing off of those same seeds so I can acclimate the seeds to here so they will grow in this soil. That's still a very big thing, guys. If you get something that works decently, take your best seeds and save those and plant those next year so that you can build up a strong plant that is adapted to your soil conditions, your weather conditions, everything like that. You're going to get a lot better yield going down the road. And it's 8:58. Here we go. Crap. Shot to the bottom. Hang on. Northern Ozark Homestead. FBI could get a warrant for a ham sandwich in the circus court system they've derailed. Yeah, I know. But again, that's the law. So. Debs, I remember last year when I offered my seeds. Yes, that was insane. And this year, I don't have them, guys. Like I said, I screwed up with my tomatoes and I mixed them all up so they cross-pollinated everywhere, so I can't save tomato seeds. I will inevitably save some green pepper seeds again this year, but that is pretty much, well, I've already been saving my bean seeds, my peas, and everything like that, but I'm not going to have enough for me to share those. That's me trying to get enough here. So, Sarah say, can I trust store-bought bagged manure for garlic bed? No, I would not trust I wouldn't trust store-bagged soil for anything at this point. I'd be looking for some sort of local farm or whatever where you can get horse manure, cow manure, goat manure, whatever, where you can talk to the farmer and say, what do you spray in your fields? And he goes, I don't spray anything on your fields. Go, good, load me up. So, great life. Did I get through everything? Yes, I did. Make sure any straw is not sprayed with herbicides. Same thing with the manure there. Yes, good comment. And that is at the end, and it is 8:59. So, all right, guys, that will be the end of it. And y'all have a good night. If Jason's on tonight, head on over there. See y'all later. Pinball out.